Hello, lovers.
Roses are red, violets are blue. We really want to share our conversation hearts with you.
Welcome to Likewise's second annual Week of Love with a new bookish episode every day. I'm Issa.
And I'm Sam, and we're so excited for you to join us and our author Galentine's while we share our love for romance books.
What can I say? We love love.
All right, we are so excited to be back with day two of Week of Love, our favorite week of the year. Honestly, don't tell Podmas I said it, but Week of Love is elite. But today we're so excited to be here with another guest because Week of Love is all about celebrating indie authors and getting to know them and talk about their amazing work. So today we have the amazing Marja Graham with us, and I'll just let her introduce herself to you however she would like.
Hi, I am Maria. I am a contemporary romance author. I really would love to call myself a rom-com author, but I do not have that comedy in me at that level. I'm originally from New Mexico, and it is like a major personality trait for me. I love the mountains. I'm from where it snows near Colorado, so that's a huge thing. And I feel like I am the most disorganized Virgo in the world, but it is something that people I've been told like if I walk into a room, people will be like, "Oh, you're a Virgo." So I feel like that is like the key personality trait that I have. But I'm like also the friend that used to be interesting, but now that I write, I feel like I am like super chill and super boring. But I would rather have it that way because the world is doing its thing, and I would rather stay indoors in my apartment. Um, and I feel like that genuinely is all about what I have because when I say I'm the boring friend now, I really am. And I'm just so excited to be here. Genuinely so excited to be here. And I can't wait.
No, we are so excited that you're here. Honestly, last year when we read On the Rocks, we're like, we need to get her on, and so sorry it took this long, but we're so stoked that we're able to have you on right after the release of the second book in Fool's Gambit series, which I'm so stoked to talk about with more. But before we get into it, of course, we're going to do our roses and thorns. So, Sam, do you want to start us off with those?
Boy, do I want to start us off. This is such continuous lore from a few weeks ago, or a lot of weeks ago at this point. Um, but update. I did get my garage fixed from that chaotic story. They fixed it this Monday, so a couple days ago. And then when I came home, okay, I brought my computer home with me from lunch day at work because I was having an allergic reaction. Yes, this is a crazy story. I was having an allergic reactions to barbecue chips from Jimmy John's. And um I go home, I bring my computer in case like I'm too down bad to go back to work. I think I'm fine to go, so I start going, start feeling really sick again in the car, so I turn around, go home, almost get hit by a car leaving my apartment as I'm trying to go in my garage. So it was very like shocking. I was so flustered. I pull into the garage, I get out, I go to go inside, and I just like shut the garage and I walk inside, but then I hear a really loud noise and I go out to the garage and it has come off the track again. And it like almost hit my car. Anyways, that's my chaos right now. My car's stuck in the garage again, but I'll be fine. Um, and my rose is that I'm just so excited for Week of Love, and I'm so excited for all the books that I'm reading right now. I was in a slump for a really long time, and I don't think it was a real slump. I think it was just like a we're trying to get through edits and like all the publishing things to get our book out slump. So like I couldn't read. Um, but I finished like two books while we were on our trip this weekend, and so now I'm just like I'm back on it, and my Kindle is very happy. So um that makes me happy. Maria, what are your roses and thorns for the week?
Um, I feel like the most obvious thing right now for me is the thorn in the sense that so I currently live in Alabama and it is so cold and I like I have courses. I am a graduate student, so I'm teaching and also taking classes. And everybody else had everything canceled. And the snow like just barely missed us. So I'm like, and I walked to class. I hate driving. So I walked and I have my coat and everything, but it's like 10 degrees. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. And that was a trial. It was a show of strength, but I got through it. I'm very proud of myself for doing so. Um, And then my rose, I would say, like, I mean, yeah, today is release day, but I had this beautiful little moment where I finished the first book in a series, an audiobook. I love audiobooks. And then I was like, I don't own the second one. I don't want to pay for it. Went to the Libby app. It was immediately available and I started it. And that was one of those moments where I'm like, something is there, something in the universe is conspiring for me, and I love it so much. It was just that spark of joy. And yeah, I seriously have been in class all day, but like that moment was beautiful.
Oh my word. That's always the best. Like when you go look for a book in Libby and then it's available. I'm like, this is what dreams are made of. This is what Liz McGuire was thinking about. Ah, I love that. Um, Thorn. I really okay. I feel silly for complaining about this because it's not as cold here as it is in Alabama. But it's just so cold and I'm ready for the sun and like not just the sun to be out because like it's still cold in the sun. I'm ready for like warm sun. Yeah. So yeah, my rose, yes. I'm so excited for a week of love. Like yeah, truth be told, this is my favorite week of the year. Sorry, Thomas. But also very similar to Sam, I'm getting out of reading slump, and now that Onyx Storm is out, I'm reading that. And just so many friends are releasing books right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I choose which one to read? So I'm kind of reading like three, four, five books at a time, as per usual. But live, laugh, love.
Yes. There's when all these episodes are coming out, like Week of Love, we kind of kept a running list for a while of like books that were releasing during that week. And there's so many. And so as these come out and as you're listening to this, like we're probably like deep in some of our most anticipated books of the year because so many of them are just like right in this week. So it's gonna be so good. But we will just get right into some of our questions because we cannot wait to get to know more about you and all your writing and everything. Um, so oh my gosh, we were so silly when we made these notes, and you do in fact have another book that was your original debut, and then you republished it after On the Rocks came out. And we can totally get into that more too. But just think about your current release and how um, that just came out. I love how this says a few weeks ago, because at this point it is a few weeks ago. That just came out a few weeks ago today. Um, but the first book in the Fool's Gambit series, On the Rocks, came out last April, and then now Over the Edge is here. So just like with writing this series or just any books you write.
So starting from On the Rocks, I had like this main opening image, and it starts with like this bar and this rock star that's kind of washed up. And originally, like I had this idea of her being a tennis player. That didn't happen. And just figuring out how these characters intertwined and this idea of being strangers in the bar. So like I always have this like kind of theme or idea or something, and like my basis is in psychology. That's what I study. So I really look at kind of personality traits and our attachment styles and all these things and kind of go from that perspective. And one of my favorite resources for this is Story Genius, which takes a character approach to outlining. And I'm terrible at outlining. I'm trying to get better because I am a rewriter. I'm a chronic rewriter. It has eaten up months of my process sometimes. And that is one of the biggest things that I've learned with the with Over the Edge. So I think there were three full drafts of Over the Edge before the final one. So that was like 300,000 words. It is a long book. And it was just kind of going through and being like, this doesn't work. I hate it. This is going to be a bad book until I was like, okay, I'm scrapping all of it and then figuring out what I wanted. This next process I'm going through and I'm outlining everything very diligently. I've become such a structure nerd because pacing genuinely is one of my weakest points. And I want to make sure I don't write the longest book ever for this next one because I'm scared every single one of them is going to get longer. But structure, reading, learning, and like rereading my favorite books is one of the biggest things. I think I went through a phase where I reread People We Meet on Vacation like four times just because I was like, I love this book so much. It's a good book. And it was kind of like background noise. And that is like kind of the key part of the process. And it's really about fine-tuning it. And just enjoying this process and knowing that I'm starting out. So like don't want my best book to be the first or third or even fourth book I put out, right? Like that would be so disappointing. I don't even want it to be the 10th book I put out. I don't think I ever want my best book to exist because that means I can always get better, and then I'm not going to plateau. And it's just a learning process. It's about curiosity and loving the characters. And sometimes I lose sight of that in the publishing process, but I just come to enjoy it so much more. And the moment I lose that means the book is going to start getting worse while I draft, and I'm going to have to edit it so much more.
That's so sweet that like it just sounds like you love like the whole thing, just everything about writing a book and like just being creative and having this avenue to channel your creativity. So like what would you say is like one or maybe some of your favorite moments or parts of the process, really? Like where do you
Yeah.
find like, the most joy?
I love talking about it. Like that's one of the things that I feel like we all love talking about our ideas. So for me, I love a good voice memo. There are hundreds of hours out there in the universe on some cloud of me just talking about these books. And there's these moments, and like you guys can probably relate to this because you're, deep into your own edits, is like this moment where it all clicks. So like, oh my gosh, they have this, and I actually set this moment up, and now it all works together. And oh my gosh, so like, just that moment of payoff that is just so amazing. And the person I call first is my mom. She went through a phase of getting 3 calls a day from me, and we would talk for 30 more minutes to 40 minutes. I'm a very verbal processor. And I'd be like, does this make sense? Am I going crazy or am I having a moment of genius? And it's those or the moments that you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel the emotions, I feel the characters, I can feel their dialogue. I'm a very dialogue heavy writer when it comes to the first drafts, and then I put everything else in. And you're just like, you're like in their heads and it feels right and you're in tune with the characters. And there's some days you cannot write one character and you can only write the other, which is like, I feel like one of the ups and downs of a dual POV, but it's just, there's some magic there. And I'm starting to learn to love to outline, and I'm scared because it's such a safe space to stay before you get into drafting. But I also love editing. I love making it better. I love tightening things up. I'm still not great at it, but I love just making things funnier and banterier and all of those things and just more and more and more. Which is just, yeah, like those little moments of sparks where everything is working along the way is really where I just find so much joy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so relatable to just like, because in every part of the process, there like is always going to be the ups and the downs, like, or like where you feel like you're lacking like motivation, or maybe you are working on edits and you're like, I can't do this, or like, I don't know how to change this. And eventually it clicks, or you get yourself to work on it, or once you're kind of towards the end of the edits and things, you're like, wow, I'm so glad I like made all these changes or did these things because this story is so much better. And if we just like left all those things how they were because we didn't want to do it at the time, like not to say it would suck, but like it would just not be this amazing story. So that's so relatable and it's so sweet that you like just call and spill everything with your mom. I love that so much. It's like it's good to have someone to spill to, and obviously like usually like for Issa and I it's each other and not really other people, but like it's that's like one of the most important things I feel like when you're writing or just being a creative, like not staying in your own bubble. Like
Oh, absolutely. And I love my mother, but she is the most critical person I know. And it really does help with writing because I know she's going to be honest with me. And like, I think that is one of the most valuable things you can ever have when you're writing, someone that's just going to be honest with you.
oh, that's so real. Like even when you're like when someone gives you feedback that you're like, I don't know if I agree with that or want to do that thing, you're like, but if they're thinking it, like they're not going to be the only person thinking that. Surely like so many readers would think the same thing or have the same feedback. So it's nice to just have other perspectives, even in the moments where you don't want to hear it. It's just so important.
Oh, absolutely. And I always say that feedback takes like 3 to 5 days for me to process it and not be mad at it. So I know some people say you shouldn't do it, but I literally like if I get the Google Doc notifications, I'll look at it and then know I have 3 days to be upset and then I can go and fix it.
Yes, gotta let it marinate for sure.
Oh, absolutely. That is exactly how I say it too.
Yeah, just like letting it marinate. Like, oh, it's like we'll come back to this.
Mhm.
Um, Amazing. I know you said that you love being like very like character focused and driven when you're starting to write, and obviously that was like a big part of kind of not outlining and being like just really in touch with your characters. Um, so like when you're kind of crafting your characters, like what are some of your favorite places to draw inspiration from for like making their vibe or figuring out like what their aesthetic is or like just everything about their character?
Um, Pinterest is obviously just like one of those go-to places, right? And looking at that favorite books, Over the Edge, one of the things that like, I was going through this week where I was like, nothing's clicking. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reread one of my favorite books. I reread Beach Read, and I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. And how these things connect. So rereading my favorite media, because like media is always in conversation with each other. And that's where like, some great media and things are popular for a reason. But also like I think every single one of these characters has a little piece of me that I'm scared to show. And then I'm like, oh, well, that was worth it because it worked out. So kind of looking at the parts of myself and like looking myself in the mirror and being like, what scares me a little bit and what's worth playing with and making it into a new character. And I almost see like pieces of myself having a conversation with each other. And there is, I think, the author AJ Braun, she just released a fantasy and I saw her talking and she was like talking about how it really is these two pieces of yourself having a conversation and healing and finding love. And that was such a beautiful thing. And it stuck with me so hard. Yeah, she just released Of Blood and Stone, I believe. And I'm so excited to read that one too.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. I know. I think it's so fun whenever we talk with authors or like I guess even just talking amongst ourselves now. But because we're always because I mean, question that we always ask is like, oh, is there a character that you relate to most? And typically it's like the first character that they wrote. But I think that's so fun. Like I don't know. I've never thought about it like that before. And so that's a really like interesting way to think about it. And now that like I'm thinking back to like what we've written, I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, I can like see part of myself in like not just one character or two characters, but like in all of them and be like, oh, this is what I like about myself, or like this is what I really don't like about myself, or I wish I would react this way in these situations. So I think that's really, really cool. Oh my gosh.
And I think that's why we love morally gray characters so much is like we're seeing someone who's morally gray doing all this stuff and they still deserve love. So why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we deserve love if that person that just offed so many people still deserves love? And yes, they did it for good reasons, but like still, like I think that is one of those cool things that like yeah, we're showing ourselves we deserve love. We're showing that other people still deserve love. And I think that is so special.
Yes. Oh, I love a flawed character. Like I just love a character that is like you hate to love them, love to hate them, whatever the thing is. Like I just I eat that up every time and it's just like I don't know, it makes it so much easier to feel like seen in a book even if you don't relate to every single thing about the characters. If there's like something about them that they're growing through the story. Like as long as there's some like character arc in that way, I feel like it's still like you can find something like that feels relatable there. So it's so fun. And yeah, it's so true that like writing is so healing in that way because like you can kind of turn inward a lot as you are making your characters go through things and have conversations. It's like you're in it right with them. Um, Amazing. Well, I guess speaking of like characters having a conversation with each other or anything, do you have a favorite line or moment that you have written? It can be in any book, or multiple from one from each or something, but any faves.
Um, okay, so of the things that have been released, and I'll even hint at something that I've been working on recently, and I think we're all gonna love. It's gonna be great. Um, so the one bed scene, because there's a one bed scene in Over the Edge, it is just I love it so much. I knew like it was fake dating, so of course they're gonna have a one bed scene, but getting them to the point where they're in this moment together and having this vulnerability, it was just so fun and delightful. And a lot of what is happening in that book is really them seeing each other for who they are. And there's also a pottery scene that is just kind of it's flirtatious, it's hot. There's an atta girl moment in there, and that was just fun to write. From On the Rocks, I think I've written some of my favorite things like line wise in there. Like I was binging Normal People, like the show, and that show does something to me. So that's where the line, she's a miracle and I am a man came from. I was just like the religious implications and like the references in Normal People really did that to me. But if I'm gonna say like all-time favorite thing I've probably written thus far is there is going to be a scene in book three where he dyes her hair. And it is there's a hair washing scene in book one that is kind of sad, but this hair dyeing scene, I think I might have made it a little bit more sad than that. So it is my favorite thing I've probably ever written, and I'm so excited to share it with the world in a few months. But I don't know, it's like I was tearing up in public writing it, and that doesn't happen to me too often. So
Oh my word, you have me on the edge of my seat. You know, like that giddy feeling when like all you can do is like laugh and you're like, yeah, that's how I feel right now. Like I'm so excited. I re like okay, when you said she's a miracle and I'm a man, I'm like, I remember that. I remember going crazy for that. So I'm excited to say the least.
it, yeah, I feel like it's some of the most poetic stuff that I've done is going to be in this next book. Man is down bad from the first moment he speaks on page. So
We love that. Oh my gosh. I wow. I feel like my brain's left the building. Um, oh my that's so fun. I like so I started reading Over the Edge this morning and I was like, I can't put this down, but I need to shower. But I need to keep reading. I was like, I don't know what to do. All my life choices were leading up to this, and now I have to make other life choices that I don't want to make.
I feel that. So I feel like reading a good book, it's just, you just want to stay there. It's cozy. It's great. I feel that so hard.
Oh my gosh. I love it. And so stuff to say. I can't wait for book three already, even though I'm only like four chapters into Over the Edge, but that doesn't matter. Um, so kind of backtracking a little bit, to characters. Um, is there a character that you've written that you relate to the most, or maybe they're coming soon, or maybe like just not published, or yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I would say it's Drew out of all of the characters. I used to be like I genuinely thought I was going to be a musician when I grew up. I went to school, like I went to art school for opera. One of my random niche lore moments, like I went to an art school in high school for opera, and I spent all my time doing this. And realized I like was sacrificing everything for it, and then I was burnt out and I just couldn't. So the burnout and the anxiety, all of that was coming from this place of like, what do I do next? And even the dedication for that book, it was really just this like ode to self-discovery and moving on with life in a way that like you just need to. And there were so many special things. So after the first book I wrote, which I wrote that kind of just to show that I could. I love it, but it's not in the same way that all these other books have. But after talking to so many of my friends and family, they were just like, "You're you again," and I'm like, "Oh, we're so back. We are so back." And it was one of those so like just cool moments. And I was like, I found this new thing, and that was what writing was. So Drew's journey. And like I'm an anxiety girly. I am an ADHD anxiety girly. So it was just being raw and real with myself and allowing myself to have these moments. And then after after that, I think both Evelyn and Garrett I have a lot in common with, and just like feeling like I'm too much when I'm in a room, or like having to be like, oh my gosh, did I just do that? Am I serious? And I'm like, do I actually like someone? That moment here, it's like I start to have a crush on someone. I'm like, or am I just wanting to be loved so bad that I'm just making my feelings up? Those moments of self-doubt, just like the Mariana siblings. That's who I am in so many ways.
I love that. Like, it's so fun when you even like unintentionally like realize that you have such a similar journey or like traits to your characters, and just kind of find that new thing. And I love that like we're so back moment. Like that's so real.
Yeah.
When you're like it's just like it's so validating and it's like almost like a confidence thing too. It's like, okay, wow. Or like just like when other people can recognize something and think like, oh, this seems like this is like your thing. Like and it's like, okay, wow. Thank you. Like I want it to be my thing too. So glad everybody else feels that way. Amazing. Oh, this
All
is
right.
always like my favorite question in the world because I just love hearing from everybody what their favorite books are. And I know you've mentioned people meet on vacation and book lovers, which like we are obsessed around here with Emily Henry. So agree. Especially with people we meet on vacation. We are like such people we meet on vacation fans.
I am too. I'm sad.
Fun
I'm like, oh, I love it so much. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
But I mean, including those two or besides those two, like, are there any books that you just love so much and would recommend to absolutely everybody?
Yes, honestly, I love people we meet on vacation. I don't think it is for everybody. I think you have to be a grade A yearner to appreciate that one.
Patient.
And the first book that came to mind, and this is one of those books that like I genuinely think everybody should read. I do believe the world would be a better place if we all read it, but it is about love, by oh my gosh, I'm like 90% sure that's the name. My brain just blanked a second. Yeah, but I believe it is About Love by Bell Hooks. I hate when I'm like, oh, I know the title of this.
Right.
Um, I'm looking that up. Yeah, it's About Love by Bell Hooks. Oh my gosh, because my brain always flips that one with All About Love and
Right.
as well. But About Love by Bell Hooks is essays on love. I think everybody should read it. I've never so quickly burst into tears than reading this book. The dedication. That's when I started crying because it really is love from all of its angles and a critical evaluation about what the absence of love can do to someone. And I don't know, it's so special. It's super accessible. It is one of those things that I think everybody should read. Not just like it in a sense that like I think it would heal a lot of people's inner child. And then on the same vein, I think everybody should read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez because that's what love in my head. Abby Jimenez's writing is what love should be. Soft, tender, accessible, fine-tuned to who you are as a person. Um, and it is so lovely to live in the same time and place as Abby Jimenez. Not time, place, but like, world, ethereal plane, if you will. And it's just so incredible. And those are the two, like, I'm like, if you want to feel loved, if you want to understand love, that is where you go. And I stand by that like so hard. But like kind of out of left field pick, if I'm gonna throw a third one in, that is fantasy, Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wong. If you want female rage, if you want elemental like airbender style magic and true like good battle scenes, it's a standalone. It is wild. There's some vigilante justice in it. Top read of last year.
I love that. I actually just finished reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and so I'm really excited to like keep going and everything else. And one of my best friends just got into like reading this year, and um I think I gave her Book Lovers for her birthday and she loved that, but then right after that she started reading Abby Jimenez books and that's what got her like hooked, and now she's like such a reader girly, and I'm like, wow. You were converted so easily. I love this. Um, so I'm just so excited to read those. And then also, I love Bell Hooks so much. That's such a good rec. Ah, wow. And things I haven't read. I don't think I've heard of that fantasy book. I'm gonna add that to my list.
Yeah. Emma Wong is just like epic fantasy. So if you love a true fantasy, there's a romance subplot in there I would almost label as marriage in crisis, but it's so good. Like if you liked the Poppy War with that female rage, like warrior, like will do anything at any cost. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. I'm intrigued. Also, I'm so glad that there is another people we meet on vacation lover. Like, I no, that's like such a good way to put it that if you're not like a grade A yearner, it might not be the book for you. But I also have a theory that if that's not the first like Emily Henry book you read, it won't be your favorite.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Beach Read was my first Emily Henry book, and
Oh,
my thing with people we meet on vacation is I feel like if Poppy and Alex had a baby, it would be me. Like there is so much that I can relate to both of them. Like I feel like I have a lot about Poppy's personality, but then like a lot of Alex's background. I came from a very, very religious upbringing, and a lot of those things I was like, oh, so we had a few moments with that, but it's like if you don't get it, you don't get it. You don't get seeing your ha other half in another person like that and wanting them so bad, but caring for them so much that would be willing to let them go. Insane.
yes. Oh my gosh. I love that book so much. It's so good.
Cannot wait for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the stuff that Emma is doing. Hello? What is that woman? I love her. She's crazy, but I love it.
Icon.
Um, chaotic chaos. That's what she is. I oh, obsessed. Um, oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, this is also one of our favorite questions to ask because it can be so controversial and we love controversy and causing problems and stirring the pot. So, are there any tropes that you feel super strongly about, good or bad?
Okay, I was actually very much going to bring up people we meet on vacation here when I saw it, but I do think the friends to lovers trope is something that is almost in every single book. I think if you, unless it is like insta love, insta lust, you see your characters become friends along the way. And I don't know, that might just be me because I think I'm slowly turning into a slow burn writer because I want all of my characters to like each other before they're in a relationship. Um, so like I don't know.
For
I think
real.
friendship is a sign that you like each other, and I think it is so special to include. And then the second thing, I think this is a pretty common thing that people like dislike, but like I don't know, miscommunication as a third act breakup is so real. Like I'm sorry, but I'm here to defend a third act breakup. I think it is something that is essential. I think it shows growth because during that time we see characters come into their own right. I think especially in first person POV. One of my favorite examples of this, I'm not going to give away the ending, but like my favorite example of a third act conflict where the character goes into self-actualization is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Um, I'm gonna say it. I know some people don't like what ha went down in yours truly. I did. But like I do think it's giving the characters room to grow on their own without a partner to be in any way codependent on. And I also love miscommunication because it happens, and being able to talk through the outcome of a miscommunication is sign of growth, right? So if you're thinking about a plot, you have a conflict. The conflict splits someone apart. You work through the conflict, you're stronger. It's like a broken bone. Actually, I have no idea if that's how bones heal, but hypothetically, if I'm right, if it could be like a broken bone.
Yeah. No, that's such a good point. And like I I feel like I'm a very maybe not strong defender, but I'm like a little defender of I could defend probably any trope and be like, well, if it's done well, you're not going to notice it. Like the like miscommunication. If it's done well, you're not going to notice it. Like for me, I totally did not notice. I don't know how, like the miscommunication trope in Happy Place by Emily Henry. And how? I don't know because that was like the whole thing. It's that they just didn't communicate, but she did it in a way that like it wasn't on the forefront of my mind. So I was like, oh, I guess I don't mind it all the time. Or yeah, third act breakup. Do we like it? No, but it's so real. And so like I think for a lot of times, like when I don't like things, it's because it's not done well. I'm like, that's so it could have been done so differently and it could have worked, but just it wasn't. So it didn't work and it sucks now. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just that's such a good way to look at it. Wow.
Yeah.
I
And
get
I'm
my
so here for that. Like Over the Edge doesn't have a third act breakup because I couldn't see the characters recovering from one, so I did not there's no universe. I love Garrett. He is, I think, one of the most complex characters I've ever written, and you'll be able to see all of that. But he would not have survived a third act breakup.
I or like even just knowing and like even if there's not a third act breakup, like there's still some sort of like tension or conflict like still kind of almost has to like exist in the third act to even then feel like you can make an impactful resolution. So like it's like even if it's not like a breakup necessarily, maybe there's something. And sometimes it's also like it doesn't have to be between the like two main characters either. Like it could be like something else that's this conflict for maybe only one person or it's just there's always got to be something. So I don't know, but I will defend a third act breakup and miscommunication always because they're just the most realistic thing, and usually they go hand in hand. If there is a third act breakup, it's probably some sort of miscommunication.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, one that I will die on this hill. Third person POV. I don't know what people have a problem with that. Like, if it's a third person POV, the world sometimes is just more vibrant. I think we get so much more context. If you hate third person POV, I'm sorry. We just Ali Carter just released the Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and that was third person POV. And I don't think my like I've ever been like just wanting to live in writing so bad. I would want my life written in third person POV. I think it's harder to write. I genuinely think third person POV is harder to write, and we see that. And I think it's a beautiful skill. And yeah, if you don't like third person POV, I'm sorry. Like I can't be friends with you. I'm so sorry.
That's so funny. Yeah, I third person POV is not my favorite just because I love being in their heads. I love knowing exactly what they're thinking. And yeah, but I mean, but my some of my favorite books are written kind of like in like the first slash third, where it's like you're in their heads, but it's he, she, it versus I, me, my, or whatever. Anyways, yeah, and like so I like that more than just straight up third person, but I also think third person is so valuable because it is like so objective. It's like no, like you're getting like the whole picture versus just their side of things. But then I also kind of like the mess of here's just their side of things.
Yeah, I mean like a third person limited, that's definitely the goal. Like that's I get exactly what you're saying. I could not do a third person omniscient romance. I'm sorry that would actually give me a headache. Like yeah, I think genuinely, if you do not believe in third person POV, you need to read Ali Carter. Also, one of my favorite indie besties, Vi Denton, her football romance as a third person POV, beautiful, beautiful time.
I love that. Like I'm thinking back to like any books that we like read in school, like in middle, high school, like required reading, English stuff, like I'm like remembering, I'm like, most of those books were not in first person. Like most of like classics or all these books, like they are third person and like for a reason. And I almost feel like this could be a wild take. But I'm like, I think most of the obsession with like first person dual POV being like the only thing people will read is like it maybe it just and no shame in this, but like maybe it just comes from like being a reader like only like you only read romance as a genre. Like you haven't really explored or you don't like other genres or you want that fanfic feel, which is fine. But I think in the book world as a whole and just like history and everything, like so I honestly think so many more books are in third person.
Yeah, I stand by the fact that if I ever wrote, I eventually will, hopefully, if I ever write a romantasy, it would be third person, single POV. And I'm sorry, but a single POV, single person POV, when it's arrivals to lovers,
Yeah.
and then you get the reveal because it's being withheld, tell me that doesn't hit hard. And like people who are like, I need dual POV, I'm like, do you not want to see this man yearn and this person to be in denial? Not me, could not be me.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love single POV. It's like it's so fun because it does make it hit so much harder when there is that like reveal of someone's feelings that you like never really got to know. Oh, yes. Okay. I get so excited when like I think about things I love in books. Um, Amazing. Okay. Well, wow, this is like the section of like the most fun questions in the world. It's our chaotic questions, our more readery personality type questions. And this one has been like our newest ad for our guest.
Mhm.
We will never go back from this because this has been so fun in every episode. But if we were to like hack your phone and go in your notes app, what would we find in there?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I feel like my notes app, so I hate texting. So I hate driving, I hate texting. I feel like I'm an 8-year-old man. So if I need to send a text, I will type it in my laptop on my notes app and then put it on my computer. Or if it's like a longer drafted thing, the only thing I actually type in my notes app on my phone is actually going to be quotes. So if I'm literally looking at my notes app, so I have a character art description. I've been commissioning so much character art. It's going to be so cool. The first lines of a project that I kind of hinted at. Um, and then like themes. I think it really is all book stuff. It really genuinely is all like different book quotes for the next two books. And then the like my copy and paste. So if I'm doing an Instagram caption, um, I just copy and paste it from my notes app because there's no way I'm t typing all of that out. I am so slow at texting. Um, but let me see. I think one of the I'll give you a little teaser if you guys want of like one of the things that I haven't, and I will eventually talk about it more, but I'm kind of gonna be working on a dark rom-com that is inspired by Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So this one line that I was going to use in a fantasy, but I'm like, no, this is good. But it's kiss me or kill me, either way, I'm yours. And it's just like there. It's the theme of the entire book. It's the vibe. Love a down bad man, but like there's like those little things and it's just like the little blurb. So um the the phrase like dissect me with your sharp tongue from On the Rocks, that was notes app. That was me walking home from work, notes app moment. But that is all you'd find. There's nothing besides book stuff in there.
That is amazing. That's like kind of organized.
I think it's just because I'm too lazy to get my laptop out sometimes. I do use my laptop until it dies.
For real. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, just now you have me sad for that. Oh my word. Kiss me or kill me. Either way, I'm yours. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. Don't you
Uh,
worry.
I just commissioned character art for that scene too. So like as of this morning, there that we're gonna have that entire scene.
That's so good. Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
a
slowly,
fangirl right now.
yeah, I'm slowly becoming a character art girl. Like I wasn't really before, and then like I think like it's so cute and all this stuff, and then but I was like, what am I gonna do with it? And I think it wasn't until I like bought some and got some from some of our friends, and then I was like, now I want them all because now I want to put them everywhere. Or like I had this idea this year where I want to start scrapbooking, and I want to have like two different ones, and I want one to be all like bookish, and that's where I'll put like character art because I don't necessarily like I have two that are like framed, but I'm like, okay, wait, I'm not gonna like fill my entire room with framed character art. Um, so I think it'd be so cute to like in like a fun scrapbooky way, like collect it like that and make like spreads for these books and just like oh, it just I'm picturing it and it would be so cute.
Oh,
Um,
I love that so much. No, like that is so cool. I just the moment I start commissioning it, I'm like, but can I stop?
Right. Or like then once you realize that like you can use it so much for posts because like you can put it in reels, you can like cut out the characters and like put it on like a post. Like it's just like, oh wait, it's actually so good for content. And I think people love to see what the characters are supposed to look like. And it's like, oh yeah, I could show you this like picture of this real person or this like celebrity that I would author cast or fan cast as the person, but like also, maybe I should just do art so that I'm not like putting all that out there for
Yeah. And true confession, I have never been able to be like, oh, I can fan cast this person. I mean, okay, so there's one picture of a person I found on Pinterest that I was like, that is so Evelyn. Never, I've never been able to look at someone and be like, that's them. That's just, but the art always does it for me.
I love that. That's how we are a little bit too. Like we've sent each other a billion different people of like, this is how I picture this, or like we'll talk when we're reading the same book. Like I don't know why, but I keep picturing this person for this character, and it's always so opposite of each other. So it's like not the same.
I I'm so bad at like fan casting. Like the way for as soon as someone enters my brain for a character, no matter how much I try to like change it, I can't. And so I'll tell my friends that are like, Issa, what the heck is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. I've tried changing it and it doesn't happen. So unfortunately, I'm stuck with this for the rest of my life.
That's fair. That is so fair. For me, Logan Lerman is always going to be Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
That's so good. Yeah.
I know with like Issa, it's always like the name association. So like even if it's not how the character is supposed to look, like if they have a name of like a character she thinks of from a movie, like she pictures them as that like actor because like they just have the same name. And she's like, I know they're not supposed to look like this, but that's who they are.
That's so fair. That is so fair.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Live, Laugh, Love, the Disney Channel having so many characters with so many names that are apparently in books now.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of the Disney Channel, we must talk about Over the Edge being Hannah Montana. Like, not, I don't, I guess inspired, but like not inspired, but like having a Hannah Montana-ness.
I'm obsessed.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I I feel like my original ideas for books. So when we lost you for a second, I was explaining how On the Rocks was originally going to be a sports romance. It was Lacey was originally like a tennis player in my head for like 30 seconds. So like the original view of these books have changed so much. But Over the Edge, originally she was not going to be in music at all. And I was like, no, I can't do that to her. And then I just kind of came up with this, like it evolved so fast that I was like, no, she has to be in the arts somehow. And then she was a painter. And then I was like, no, she's a pianist. Like I established that in book one. I talk about her love for music in book one and how she has this grace. And I was like, okay, my subconscious was doing something there. Um, and I'm like, okay, how I dug myself into this hole. What do I do with it? And I think that's where a lot of these things are going to come from. And it's just a huge puzzle. But like the Hannah Montana-ness of it all, I was so scared about this because these characters are pretty grown up. They are 28 and 33, I believe. I'm so bad with my characters' ages. So I was like, how can I make this believable for adults to keep these massive secrets? And with the context from book one and like the care for her family and all that stuff, it clicked, but it was terrifying to do, like genuinely. And I promise there is a wig moment, but it is in the epilogue. And I love that epilogue so much. I've never been so proud of an epilogue before.
I'm so excited.
Oh my word. I can't wait to finish this book. Not like get it over with finished, but like know everything finished.
Oh, I'm so ready for a wig moment. Oh wow. Okay. I'm so excited. I just love like honestly, I don't know if I had ever read like a hidden or like secret identity like in a book until I read On the Rocks and I was like I didn't know I needed this like as a like trope or like just part of the story and I was like wow and it's like yeah you do always kind of think like oh my gosh like how could they not know but like it makes sense though like with the way the characters are it's just like wow it just has me on the edge of my seat every time because it's like you're waiting for like them to find out and then like but you're scared for them to find out and it's so fun. I love it.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm technically kind of doing something similar, not similar, but like the amount of secrets that I have these characters having, insane. And I'm like, I just hope people don't get tired of them. Um, and I like because the reactions are so different from On the Rocks to Over the Edge, I think that was also super fun. I was like, is someone gonna call me out for doing it twice? And then I was like, what if I do something even crazier in book three? So
The word. I literally, I have the only words I have are I'm so excited and sorry that I keep reusing them, but I'm just so excited. And okay, speaking book three, or maybe other books too, what can we look forward to in the future from you?
okay, so fingers crossed. This is me not promising this publishing schedule, but loving the idea of it conceptually if I can get this done. So, there are three projects kind of in the works right now. So, book three. So, this is going to be the final, like, true Fool's Gambit book. I might come back and write Jared's novella. Love Jared. He is the unsung hero of the series for just existing. Because like he's married, he's happy. I'm not going to do anything to disrupt that. So it would be kind of an origin story for him and his wife. If I did do that, that is not really there right now. But book three, I'm gonna say this, and I promise it is going to make sense. Marriage in crisis of convenience. So there, it's a marriage of convenience, a pre-existing one, but it's in crisis.
Mm.
And it's road trip tour, dual timeline.
Color me intrigued.
So we get Wes and Avery and all of their lore and the dramatic stuff of it. Um, as of right now, and I'm just like, I'm praying that none of this will change, but I'm very, very sure of this right now because I've written a good chunk of it. The start of book three starts during book one. So we get to relive a lot of really cool moments. We get to see everything that Wes and Avery do in these books. You guys get context. I love Wes so much. He is my favorite character. I've made him hateable on purpose. I've made him 5'10" on purpose. But you're gonna love him. If you do not love Wes by the end of his book, I've done something wrong, and it all makes sense. It all makes sense, and he's probably gonna be everybody's favorite character. So, and we get to learn a lot about Avery, and it's really cool. And then the next book I have is a dark rom-com standalone that I'm really, really excited about. Inspired by Mr. and Mrs. Smith, true enemies to lovers in the sense that they are actively trying to off each other, in the entire book. But he's not really trying that hard because he just loves her that much. So that's kind of the vibe for that. And then I have a holiday book. So it's going to be a holiday novella set in New York, very much like what happens on the other side of a Hallmark movie, inspired. So, like, what happens when someone goes to a small town and the fallout from that in reality. So playing on that concept, and I'm just really excited for all three of them. A lot of these characters and stories I've been wanting to write for so long. So this is like this year of like, oh, I get to do it. I'm so excited to start writing fight scenes. When I tell you that, like, I'm going to have so much fun with the fight scenes and like knife to the throat. I'm hoping to give all of the good moments. And I think we're going to learn how much I just love having men in glasses at this point. So, those are kind of the things that I've got going on. It's going to be second half of the year is when we're really going to be seeing publishing stuff. During this first half of the year, I'm going to dive into drafting, but I'm so excited because I think like by this point, I've started to share some stuff for oh my gosh, I feel like I think I can just tell you guys the title, honestly, because at this point, do you guys want to know?
Absolutely.
So book three is Out of Tune.
Shut up. That's so good. And that works so well with what you're saying for like the vibes and the like the tropes. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, Wes and Avery's book is Out of Tune. It is Marriage of Convenience and Crisis, dual timeline, friends to lovers to strangers, and it is going to be so fun. It is my favorite thing I've ever written so far.
That's so exciting. It sounds like just because of how much you like love the characters and like kind of know exactly like the vibes and kind of things that they've been up to in this like dual timeline, like I mean, maybe you're not, and maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it like feels like you like have a lot of progress done on them, and that they are becoming so real, and so that's really exciting.
These are the characters I've known the most about and have come so easily to me. I hate making playlists for my characters because I think it's so hard. Took me 30 minutes to make their playlist. Took me like 30 minutes to make their Pinterest board, and their outline took me a minute just because I was like, how am I going to do this and make it make sense? But yeah, they've come so easily in a way that on the rocks and over the edge, kind of I had to push myself through to the finish line. And I'm sitting down and being like, oh my gosh, it works. This is amazing. This is like sparks everywhere. Like this feels like one of those moments where you're like, this is my soul book. And this might be. I've been wanting to write this since when I was editing on the rocks. And it took everything in me to like wait because it would not make sense out of order by any means.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I'm literally, yeah, on the edge of my seat. I can't wait. Wow. This is gonna be so good.
Yeah, no, it's so exciting, and like earlier how you talking about like the moment where it like things click and stuff, like it almost feels like, after you got through books one and two, like going into book three, it's like, okay, wow, it's clicking. I've wanted to be here, and it's gonna go. But now I really understand the need to outline for a story like that, to do like dual timeline, because I can't imagine you could do that without an outline. So, yeah, like I want to outline so bad. Um, because I've just, I think everyone has experienced what happens when you don't. Or like I love not outlining and I love just going with the flow, but then you always have the moments when you're like, I wish I could have done that. But yeah, so that motivates me to outline.
Oh, oh my word. I'm so sad that this is over, but this was such a fun conversation. But of course, before we end, we're going to talk about our songs of the day. So Sam, what is your song of the day?
Oh my goodness. I did not really prepare for this, but it's fine because I could probably very quickly figure out what my song of the day is by going to my Spotify and looking at the mix I was listening to today. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. The last couple nights, like every night when I put on my music, I've been listening to Supernatural by Ariana Grande, and it's just like it's just such a good song. And so that will be my song of the day.
I love that.
What's your song of the day?
Okay, so I'm a huge Lizzie McAlpine stan, love her so much. Pushing It Down and Praying by Lizzie McAlpine. Once again, it's for the girls who yearn. And it makes me sick in the best types of way. And I think it will be my song of the day for the next month.
I love that. Also, so not unrelated, very related. I don't know if you've seen all the people on TikTok who are like, not me realizing that this McAlpine is like an avoidant attachment style or whatever. And like it's like all these people who are like, they're like, wow, this like now I really understand, or other people are like, yeah, like that's why I always like relate because I'm also avoidant, or like then they're like, wait, I'm like anxious and now I'm realizing like, wow, she's so avoidant and I feel like this is like villainous or something. But no, I just loved it, that clicking for everyone. It was so fun.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that is like all you need to know about me is that I love her so much.
Oh my gosh, my sister loves her. So last year we went to see her when she came, and it was so fun. She's just so good and so underrated. My song of the day is Complicated, but not by Avril Lavigne. So sorry, Avril, love you. But Complicated, Olivia O'Brien's cover, and I have it on a playlist that's called Better Than the Original T. So, ah, so good. I've been in an Olivia O'Brien mood the past like 3 days.
I love that. Like her music for me is like so summery. And if it's cold, you need that, right?
It is so summery. I love that.
So good. Oh my goodness. This ah what a this was so fun. Seriously, thank you so much for spending the evening of your release day with us.
Of course, like genuinely, this is like the perfect way to like, end the day and just like have a little bit of time to celebrate it, honestly.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Also, didn't realize we did not talk about this, but in case anybody is curious, where can listeners go find Over the Edge?
So Over the Edge is going to be on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have that, it's there. It's also an ebook on Amazon. And then it is currently, if you want some goodies and some character art, you can go to Scribbles Bookshop for a physical copy. There are two different covers, which I'm so happy to have. And then you can also get a paperback copy through Amazon as well.
So fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, we really can't thank you enough for being on here and just being excited to be on. And it's so fun to be able to actually chat with you semi face to face over Zoom instead of just through DMs. And for all you listening, if you don't follow her already, you can follow her on Instagram at mjgraham.author. We'll make sure to put that everywhere we know. But yeah, we're so excited for you, so excited for the future, and yeah, what you have lined up, literally can't wait. It's so, I'm so stoked.
Yeah, I'm so excited that I got to share some of it because it has been bottled in me, and I'm so excited that I can start talking about it.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be rent free in my head, honestly. And I'm gonna be thinking about the fact that I know, like, that you were talking about like the character art that you like are commissioning for that one thing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be thinking about that and what it could look like.
Yeah, it's like I just got a sketch, and I'm like, genuinely, I'm gagged. Like, I got a sketch for this one tarot card inspired one that I'm like, it's gonna be insane.
I love it.
So good, so fun. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for doing Week of Love. So excited that this is the second annual. And yeah, so Sam and Maria, thank you so much for spending your evening with me, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.
Thanks, Issa, and likewise to you all.
Bye.